Yo, everyone, welcome back to the channel here for another video. Listen, we're just gonna jump ahead and go right into it because I'm pretty sure by the title and the thumbnail and all that, you know that Akira Toriyama had unfortunately passed away on March 1st. And me and the fellas, just came here and felt compelled to give our 2 cents on just how he impacted our lives through his story with Dragon Ball and just like how he brought us all closer together. So we're gonna hit a few topics and then just talk about everything. So just we're gonna start off with how we got into Dragon Ball. So I'll go first and say that I got into Dragon Ball. I remember being at my god brother's house when I was like 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't remember the age, but I was out there just playing, chilling or whatever, and then my uncle walks by. I think we were watching like some on Nicktoons, and he walks by and he sees that Dragon Ball Z Kai is like coming out soon. He's like, "You guys gotta watch that." And I was like, "Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Balls," like like being childish and just making jokes about Dragon's Balls. But he sat us down. He's like, "You guys are gonna love this." He sat us down, and we watched the first episode, and I remember liking it. And then I think the next episode happened. We were just instantly Dragon Ball fans. And ever since then, it's just been on. Even now to this day, I would consider myself a huge Dragon Ball fan. But that's how I got into it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have our start in Dragon Ball, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us got started on Nickelodeon, with Dragon Ball Z Kai, at least in our generation. It really introduced a whole new wave of Dragon Ball fans. But really, I got started with the games, Before I ever knew what an anime was, I was playing video games. And the first game I ever played was Dragon Ball Sagas. And if you remember that game, I forget what it was. I think it was on like the GameCube, right? I think that's what I played it on. Dog, not gonna lie, probably one of the worst games to ever come out of all time. But I love that game. You know what I'm saying? And like it really just got me started on this idea of like, all right, Goku's a pretty cool guy. He saves Earth, he beats up the bad guys. But once I saw the show here on Nicktoons, it was on from there. And it just started a whole whirlwind of just going headfirst into the fandom. So yeah.
What is it? All right. So how I got into it was I didn't even know that it was a Dragon, like there was a Dragon Ball show or series or anything. But once back when my mom was working at a charter school, like damn near maybe almost 15 years ago, she had another teacher that she was really close, and she had a son. And every once in a while, I would go over to uh, the teacher's house to go play with her son. He had an Xbox and he was real chill and shit. And pretty much he put in Dragon Ball Rage and Blast, and basically we just played that. Not gonna lie, I don't know how he had the game and he still kept losing to me. But to this day, realizing like, yo, that game was fun, at least for the time bit for like the time back then. The game was like mad fun to play. I was learning all the characters and all that. And then after maybe like 2 or 3 years of me not knowing where those characters are coming from, I thought it was just a game. I saw that Dragon Ball Z Kai was on Nicktoons. So I tapped in, watched it, and instantly was like, "Oh no, I'm hooked onto this shit." So that's pretty much where I got into it.
It just comes full circle, man. Like everyone has different avenues getting into Dragon Ball, but we all are just big fans of it at the end of the day. But the next thing we wanted to cover was the favorite moment in the series. Now, I'm gonna cheat here because I said favorite moment, but I there's too many to count. So I'll just go with three and leave it at that. So I would say obviously Goku going Super Saiyan. Even before he actually went Super Saiyan, like Frieza just blowing Krillin up, and then like Goku just watching his friend just die right in front of him. And that speech he gave, especially in the Kai version, like Sean Schimmel's acting, just
Mhm.
it really sends chills down my spine, man. Like it's such a cold scene And secondly, I would say when Cell killed Android 16 and Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. Like the whole moment, and I don't even have to talk about like what actually happened in it. It's just if you saw it, you saw it, and you know it's like beautiful. And then lastly, I would actually say my other favorite moment is from Dragon Ball GT, which is at the end of the show when Goku becomes one with the dragon, or what I don't even know actually what even happened then. But I just remember feeling like sad and feeling like the story really just kind of completed itself, and just I liked it. I really liked it a lot. So those three moments I feel like really touched me and stand out to me the most in Dragon Ball.
Man, there are so many good moments in the series, and there's a lot of moments to pick and choose from. But funnily enough, my first moment isn't really going to come from an anime episode. It's going to come from a special. It's going to come from the history of Future Trunks.
Mm-hmm.
And when he
Mm.
first turned Super Saiyan at the death of Gohan, man, that shit hit, bro. Like, I first experienced that in Dragon Ball Sagas, funnily enough, but when I went back and actually watched the special, it really hit on such a different level. Like, I felt his pain, and I finally understood why he harbored so much hate towards the androids, because, like, that is the only person he had left besides his mama. Like, that's it. That's his only friend, his only mentor, his only companion, you know, in the fight against the tyranny, you know? So that's one for sure. Shout out to when Goku and Vegeta first fused in the anime. Great
Mm-hmm.
Vegito. The beatdown on Buhan is one of my favorites. An all-time moment for me. I'm not gonna lie. I really do wish he could have finished it, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Just that the whole episode of Beatdown is enough for me. I really needed that. And my final moment, here's what I'll say. It's gonna be Goku versus Majin Vegeta. And here's the reason. It's because like it feels like even though Vegeta does ultimately end up shafting himself to a rightful conclusion, you know, he cheats himself out of the fight. It sets up one of the best sacrifices in anime history. I guess my moment isn't even really Goku versus Vegeta, because the moment really is the final explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back and watch the speech. Go back and watch it, and like start. I was just start from when he talks to son when he talks to his son Trunks. Start from there, and if you don't get chills, bro, you might not have a heart. But that's it for me.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I had like five off the top of my head, and y'all took four of them shits. So I really can't. I'm not gonna have the ability to say some new shit that y'all haven't said. So I'm only gonna be able to give up one as of right. Actually, I can give two. I can give two.
Mm-hmm.
My one of my favorite moments is when you watch Vegeta become Super Saiyan for the first time, seeing him going through his trials and tribulations on a different planet while it's raining, and you just see this man wanting to just get better and stronger and not knowing how to. And then the nigga just gets so mad, he gets into it. That was one of those joints where you felt the emotion that this nigga was going through. And he was like, I'm gonna prove to y'all that I am the strongest and will be the strongest Saiyan of all time. Unfortunately, he's still not one of them, but you know, he's still not the strongest, but still.
A
You know what I'm
strong
saying?
number
Like
two.
he is the greatest number two that you could think of if you really think about it for real. In anime. That's in my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. And number two, and I will 100% say that this is a scene that is so fucking underrated and people completely forget up until you bring it up. As when Mecha Frieza came back to planet Earth to try and beat Goku or beat all the Saiyans or whoever was there. And then Trunks walked up to him and without hesitation sliced him the fuck up and walked away.
Yeah.
That shit was so easy for him, and it was cool to see like somebody who we're just now learning, and we see how strong he is without even trying. They pretty much just showed that he is stronger than Goku. Well, not Goku, but he's like strong as shit. And he just defeated somebody who Goku was struggling to defeat for episodes, and he
Yeah.
beat him in 30 seconds. So it was just like something it wasn't a challenge, it wasn't a feat, but it was just like one of those like, yo, who the fuck is this guy type scenario. So
Bro, I
those
saw
are my two.
I saw a GIF on Twitter, and it was that scene in real time. And I kid you not, it was a GIF, so it was no longer than 4 seconds. Like he got the
Yeah,
mouse.
bro.
Yeah,
Just,
I think I saw that the other day on Twitter. Just so many of these moments, man. Like I love that moment where he just destroyed Mecha Frieza. Like man, and then how he just ends up bitching King Cold after that. He's like, oh, like, nah, get the hell out of here. um, and then Lamont with the final explosion. The Vegito, I wanted to say that one too, but there's only so much I could say.
Is
Yeah, yeah. So next up, we have the favorite game. Now, this one, I'm cheating again. It's too difficult, man. These Dragon Ball games were some heat, but I'm gonna go with 3. I'm going with Raging Blast, honestly, at number 1 because it was my first Dragon Ball game. Actually, no, Burst Limit was my first, but I didn't really like Burst Limit that much. But Dragon Ball Raging Blast 1 was my first game, and it was just like I spent hours on it, unlocking the characters, seeing Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and like the what if stories, and just going through it all and using all the characters and stuff. It was just such a fun experience as a kid. I had hours. I really wish I could see how many hours I put into that game. But secondly, I would say Raging Blast 2. Or actually, no. Raging Blast 2 will be like number 3. Xenoverse 2 is number 2 because as someone with an older brain at that point in time, I could actually understand more about what I was doing. And also, like, all my friends, like, Lamont and Zay in here, and even some people out of this Discord call right now, we all had it and we all played together and just got better with each other. I think it's safe to say I'm the worst out of us 3, but I still had fun, So those are my top 3 Dragon Ball games.
all right, I'm not going to cheat. I'm gonna just keep it to 1, and I'm gonna take it back to Dragon Ball Budokai 3. The roster on that game is deceptively large. You don't even realize that they have Omega Shenron until you really go deep into the game. Like, it was actually my first fighting game that I ever played. Like, my first 2D fighting game I ever played. And it really introduced me to a whole genre of games that, like, I've grown to love and still play to this day. Shout out to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighters. But man, Dragon Ball Budokai 3, bro, the story mode, they did have their fair share of what ifs too. Like, if you play as Vegeta, you can turn Super Saiyan as him during the Saiyan Saga, I believe, in some story mode, like in some scenario, and then you can also turn Super Saiyan and Namek doing like fighting Mecha Cool. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts when you really like go through like the different character stories, and there's a whole TN story. It's kind of, I love it, bro. They give you so much in that game, and it's truly underrated for all that it brings. And yeah, that's my one. That's my one. When the HD collection came out, oh, I was in heaven. I wish it got remastered again for like a future generation, but
Yeah,
that was the choose.
I feel you.
because this is the game that got me into it. I forgot if it was Raging Blast 2 or Raging Blast 1, but I know it was one of them, so let's just put both of them in as one of my favorites. It is what got me it is not yeah, is what got me into it, or at least it solidified my spot as a future, nerd for the show. So
Yeah.
that's one. It's for my number 2. I think I would have to also agree with Jay and say that it's Xenoverse 2. I would say that the memories that I have off of that game with everybody, both in this chat and other people who I still talk to this day, the game might be dead, for the most part, but still, I have the most fun scrapping with every person to the last bar, and then out of nowhere, I just kick it in the third gear and then kill you. Like that. That's just something that I enjoy doing, but also having the characters, having the ability to customize a character, and just have a bunch of extremely OP moves tie into other OP moves, and then completely trolling and pissing somebody off. That was funny and fun. And I have maybe a total of like 600 hours of that game, just basically playing the living shit out of that game and ranked and getting better with everybody and all that. So that's gonna be my number two, and my number three is always gonna be Budokai Tenkaichi. Just any version of it, because the sheer cast alone just made me want to continue to watch it past that point.
Mm-hmm.
Once my friend got that game, and I came over and started seeing characters who I didn't recognize, and made me want to go and watch everything else that was going on. Even though at the time I wasn't a big fan of Dragon Ball GT, I can respect it for what it did, and that's what Budokai Tenkaichi 3 did for me. So those are my three.
Right. Solid choices all around. Those games, man, they really just I know I'm speaking for myself. I'm pretty sure you guys feel the same way, man. Like they just made the series and the franchise just so much more, just made it easier for me to connect with the series.
Yeah, they make it so much more special. Like
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball holds such a big place in my heart, not only because of the anime, but because of the movies and because of the games and because of all the other mediums that it's involved in.
Right. So next up, we got the favorite movie. Now,
Don't cheat this.
I'm cheating. I'm cheating. I am cheating.
I can do it.
Cheat. Yeah.
You might as well just put it as top three for all questions.
No. It's top one for you guys. Top three for me.
Yeah.
All right. No. It might just change to the top three. Whatever. But yeah, top three movies. I would have to say it's a three-way tie. Like it's not even just like one is above the other. I think from just a perspective of like the first one being like a fusion and just seeing him just pull up and kick ass, like Fusion Reborn. That movie is definitely my favorite out of the original Z movies. You know, Stardust Breaker and just watching him just annihilate Janemba. It's just so cool to me. And then the ending as well too, with Vegeta and Goku and their little talk before Vegeta turns to stone. But after that, I would say probably the superhero movie, the one that just came out last year, 2023. I was skeptical at first, you know, like the CGI, the fact that Goku and Vegeta weren't going to be the main focus, but they did a killer job with it. And watching like the Beast Gohan transformation, the callback to when he originally went Super Saiyan 2, and the animation was just so good. And the story itself too, like that's the thing about the Super movies, is that they definitely elevate the story perspective rather than the Z movies. Because you know, the Z movies kind of follow this format of like, oh yeah, really strong dude just pulls up and just destroys everybody like Broly did. And then they're still winning, and then at the end they just get plotted out by like some nonsense. It's okay, it's a Dragon Ball movie. Who really cares? You're just there for the fights. But Super kind of elevates on that. You're getting a narrative as well as good fights. So that's why I would have that one there. And then lastly, the Broly movie. I mean, the animation, amazing. Gogeta, we had him for more than just 1 minute this time. And it made Blue canon, and just looking at that fight between him and Broly, seeing Broly just beat the living hell out of Frieza was awesome too. But yeah, that's all for me.
There are a lot of Dragon Ball Z movies. And so for the sake of, not repeating, I'll give you a different theory. For one, my guilty pleasure is the Lord Slug movie. I love that movie to the day I die. Don't ask me why. Just accept it and give it another try if you don't like it. My number two is actually going to be BoJack Unleashed. I'm sorry, BoJack Unbound. I think it is. I forget.
Yeah, BoJack Unbound. That's the movie.
BoJack Unbound. Yeah, because I'm a big Gohan fan and a big Trunks fan, and they really get the shine in that movie because Goku's dead. So who else can they rely on? And number one is actually like, all right, I really do want to give like I do want to say I do love superheroes, and I really do want to like have it in my top three. But man, Battle of Gods, like that shit really reignited my love for Dragon Ball. Like after a while, I sort of fell off from it, because we didn't have much Dragon Ball coming out for 9 years. It was just games, and the games during that stretch were not even that great. So when we did get Battle of Gods, there was a whole new there was new life in the Dragon Ball community, and it swept me away all over again. I'm back in the whirlwind. So it was a great movie to me, and it's my number one.
Since we all have to sit here and choose unique ones because Lamont won't be all different and shit, I guess my number one, actually, let's go number one and number two. I'm just a cooler fan. Just him alone is y'all killed my brother. I don't care. I'm scrapping. And then the second one is y'all killed me. So I came back and we scrapping. And if you kill me again, watch thousands of other me come back and we scrapping. It was just this nigga was a villain. He didn't care. Actually, as a matter of fact, he didn't even care that his brother died. He just wanted to scrap. That's all he was. He was just a nigga that wanted to whoop someone's behind. And to this day, just watching that was just peak Dragon Ball movie. It sucks that it's never going to be canon, but I wish it was. And I'm gonna have to say my number three is Broly, the old one, Dragon Ball Z Broly, for one reason and one reason only. Imagine just watching a big guy just scrap. It's just, I think y'all get the premise of behind my movies. Just niggas want to scrap. That's all it is. So imagine you see a guy who just came in. He said, "I don't care that you killed my brother. I'm just here to fight you." And then in the next movie, he comes back, "I want to fight you." And then the next guy wants to scrap because the nigga was crying too much while you was a kid. Like, bro, like, niggas was just scrapping the scrap for any old reason. So, if it's a scrap movie, it's a scrap movie. But I guess, I need to do a four because this is an honorable mention for me. I'm gonna have to go with Dragon Ball Resurrection F.
Really?
Yes. Just think about it. A nigga came back, hear me out, to scrap. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to prove that he's better than you. He just wanted to prove that he's better than you. It's not that he wants to fight just to, get revenge on killing him. No, he came back trained and said, "Look at this new form. I don't care. I'm scrapping you. And it's just you, Goku. You can throw this Vegeta nigga in my face. You can throw this Vegeta monkey in my face. It's him I want, though." That's pretty much all it was. He just wanted to scrap just to prove that he's strong. That's it. The animation style, solid. The transformation style, solid. And it was short. It was sweet. It was condensed straight to the point, and you go on with your day. That was that movie. It's just 4 movies about niggas wanting to scrap. That's it.
You have a type for these movies.
Yes.
But next up,
we got here's what I'm going to say. Whoever created Bio Broly did not honor Akira Toriyama.
All right.
That's it. I'll leave it at that.
All right. So next up, we got our favorite characters. I definitely have to give this one to Vegito. Like, the man is awesome. I have watched, I think, the Vegito fight 2 to 3 times outside of the original time I watched it in Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. It's just 40 minutes of peak. Like, this guy is going around and messing with the strongest being in the universe at the time. Like, it's nothing. Like, the way Boo was just bullying him, or not him, bullying Goku, Vegeta, and everyone else, and then just having Vegito come out and knocking him around in base form, and then going Super Saiyan and just watching him smack the hell out of this this fake loser. Like, it's just too cool. And then even him with Vegito Blue in the Zamasu fight. Now, Vegito Blue, I like him. I like him more in the manga for Super. The anime kind of messed up I wouldn't say messed up, but they changed the fight. But when Vegito came out, like, he jumped from behind that rock and then turned blue, like, I couldn't help but just smile. Like, he's just that dude, man. Like, Vegito is definitely my favorite character in the series. But if you're saying that's cheating because that's a fusion, I would just say my favorite character is Gohan then. Gohan, do I have to explain, bro? Like, from the Super Saiyan 2 to Ultimate, then Beast Gohan after that, and just him as a character, like, he's definitely, I'd say my other favorite character that's not a fusion.
Favorite character wise, it's a toss up, bro. I'm stuck between two characters. I mentioned Trunks earlier. You know, he's so drippy, bro. The jean jacket, the Capsule Corp jean jacket with the black tank top and the Amiri jeans. Come on now.
And then
With the
and then
Yuttas,
them
with the
the
Yuttas.
Balenciaga boots,
Oh, come
them
on.
big steppers,
Come on now.
and
Come
the
on now.
sword too, bro.
And the sword to top it off, purple hair. Oh, purple hair, don't care. Come on. And when you put on the same armor, different story. Don't even worry about it because now my hair is tied up. Oh, the drip was immaculate. Can't lie. Trunks is really that nigga.
That's a sexy man.
But the other nigga in Dragon Ball is Piccolo, and that's
Oh
my
God.
top one right there. On God, bro. He was the dad that stepped up. You know what I'm saying? And I really respect him for that. So shout out to Piccolo. I wish he had more, but shout out to superheroes for giving him the shine that he needed, bro. He really carried the pot of that movie, and I loved every second of it for that. But man, shout out to Piccolo. He's number one on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I might be the only person to straight up pick a fucking villain out of everybody, but I think y'all already know who I'm picking.
It's cooler.
It's
It's
Cooler, of
so.
course. It's always gonna be Cooler. Cooler is just an evil person. Frieza was evil. Like when you saw Frieza, it was like like you felt some type of way when you saw Frieza. Like you would be like, ugh. And then they took somebody, like they took out the anger. They just said he don't even care. He just wants to fight you. That was it. That's what put me over the top.
Bro just likes guys who like to fight.
Oh God. If y'all want to scrap, we stay
Shout out to
scrap.
Dragon Ball.
That's it.
Yeah, I definitely think Piccolo is definitely my third, or he might even be my second. Like him and Gohan are a toss up, and then Goku and Vegeta follow after. But I kind of want to talk about villains now. Like keeping it short, my favorite villain has to be Frieza. Like the dude, number one, he's racist. Number two,
You monkey.
number two, nah. Like to be real though, like Frieza in the like the Frieza saga, or Namek saga, whatever you want to call it, like he was such a wall to overcome. First of all, like there was narrative build up, starting from the Saiyan saga with like, you know, of course Goku being revealed to be a Saiyan, the Vegeta coming, and you know, like his whole connection to Frieza, but then finding out he's the one that wiped out the Saiyans and his father was the one that was the last stand against him and all that. He had a lot of like narrative build up, but Frieza was such a wall to overcome. It's like, oh, you beat me in my first form. I'm just going to transform again. All right, you can beat me in that one. I'm just going to transform again. You beat me in that one. I'm just going to transform again. Oh, you beat me. You're beating me. I'm just going to go full power. Like the dude just kept transforming and just kept getting more and more devious. And the fact that he blew up Krillin, who we thought was permanently dead at the time, and then threatened Goku's son, threatened to kill him right in front of him. Like Frieza is such a menace. I have to give it to Frieza as like the best or my favorite villain in Dragon Ball. He's the definition of a villain, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all know Frieza's him, but let me talk about Cell for a little second. He means so much when you really think about it. The idea of Cell being the perfect organism, right? Being the perfect being, still getting beaten, really just goes to really stress the message of Dragon Ball, like being that like, yo, first of all, nothing is perfect. And second of all, there's nothing that we can't overcome. I'm saying, like, even if you are perfect, oh well, we can do better than that, you know. And the fact that it's done by Gohan ultimately at the end, it's kind of like even spreading a more positive message, like, yo, it's for the younger generation, like, yo, you know what I'm saying, you can do it, even if your predecessors couldn't, even if your dad couldn't get it done, you can still do it. It doesn't matter. You have the potential to be better than the people that came before you. So it's like, I fuck with Cell because of what he means, like the message that he brings to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also a cocky son of a bitch, and I love that about him.
Mm-hmm. No, no, you don't get a pick. You already mentioned your villains and stuff. You get.
Do I at least
You
I get a good guy?
a good guy. Yeah.
I think my favorite character that's a good guy. I don't know if he's really considered a good guy, but it's Lord Beerus.
I'll take it.
I think I know why.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know why. Don't even
Yeah.
explain it. We know why. We know why. Okay. So with that out of the way, we're gonna move on to what is our favorite moment, like outside of like the anime or whatever. Like, what is our favorite moment that involved Dragon Ball? And like to give you a little example, I'm starting myself. Like my favorite moment is when I was a kid. It wasn't when I was trying to go Super Saiyan or when I was trying to do the Kamehameha. It was trying to do the fusion dance with my god brother. Like we sat there and we pulled up a YouTube video or whatever and tried to do the fusion dance on the beat drop. And it was just like I remember failing so many times, like, no, you gotta do it like this. And just do the poses or whatever. And we finally did it. We didn't fuse, but we were happy. We pulled it off and like matched the fingers or whatever. And it just like that memory has stuck with me for so long over the course of my life. Like I'm just so thankful that we had the ability to just, I didn't. I can't. It's just something I really treasure.
Yeah. Um, Outside of me personally experiencing like Dragon Ball, I would say that there was this one time I caught one of my cousins watching Dragon Ball Z Kai like at a family outing, just like early on in my childhood, and I had just started watching it myself, and we had started connecting on it. And more of my cousins started getting in the conversation, and like ever since then we've shared a little bond. Like we all watch Dragon Ball and we still talk about it to this day. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again we used to get on and play around this universe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do like a few parallel quests with each other, but just getting that bond with people who you never really would think might be into that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just it's awesome. It brings everybody together because everybody has experienced Dragon Ball in some way or another.
Right.
I have two, but I'm limited to one. And this is one of those things where it's like you literally have to experience this once in your life to understand why this shit hurts so much. It was back maybe it was the summer after Xenoverse 2 came out. And pretty much it's like we would hop on the game, we would hop in Xenoverse, and back when they used to have like those channels or what were they called? It was like the communities. Back when you were able to start parties in the communities and you used to be able to join open private parties in the communities, you would be able to go in and do whatever. It was me and maybe like four or five other people, and we all just wanted to hop on the game and scrap. So we would get on the game, we scrapped, we friended each other, and then after seeing each other online, we would start a party. And this was back when you could only have 8 at a time. That party was full at all times. There was maybe one person that it was active all the time for an entire summer. There were kids that were nocturnal that would hop on and they would play at night, and then they would swap roles, and then they would have the people come in the morning time at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They would stay on for like 8 hours straight, and it was just all Xenoverse, just scrapping, parallel quests, story mode, character building, and all that. And in the middle of everything, we all used to sit there, joke, talk our shit, and then argue about Xenoverse and who's better, argue about who's the best player of that character, who can be who, and arguing about the actual show and talking our shit. That was that was peak Xenoverse time. That was just peak PlayStation. That was just peak. Those are the moments that I wish I could do again, but unfortunately, we all grow up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I miss those Universe 2 nights and stuff. Just
Mhm.
yeah, those were the times, man. Like yeah. This
yeah,
series
bro.
has really just changed all of our lives, man. It made so many memories, literally just from existing.
I still got friends from that party chat, bro. I still got people. There are people who I've been friends with when that game came out. What was it in 2017? In
Mm-hmm.
2017 is what it is. 2024, 7 years. I've still talked to maybe two of those people 7 years later.
Hmm.
It's insane. That game, based off of that TV show, pretty much gave me friends that I will always have and everything.
Right.
I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm just sad as fuck.
Yeah, yeah, today for me personally was also like a really upsetting day, but coming to do this video and talk about how Dragon Ball, and I know he's made Doctor Slump and Sandland and all that, but Dragon Ball for me personally like is the one that really clicked, and or I would say the one I've given a shot and has just changed my life so much. If I didn't have Dragon Ball, or if it just didn't exist, so many things in my life would just not happen. So many relationships would be just non-existent. I literally wouldn't meet some people because I met them through like Dragon Ball related content.
Mm-hmm.
And then like of course fellow series and whatever that took inspiration from Dragon Ball. I could go on all damn day about it, but talking about this really did make me feel better, and it just makes me really appreciative that we were really blessed to be here, be born in this time, to experience Dragon Ball for what it is, and just to make so many memories along the way.
Yeah. And, even though his passing is sad, I think a positive thing that we'll be taking from all of this is that people will be able to appreciate his works so much more. Before this, there was a weird sort of hate train going for Dragon Ball. And, I'm hoping that that can go away and people can just really look at Dragon Ball for the masterpiece that it is.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I guess all I can say is thank you to Akira for bringing over a show to the West, showing us what we could see in the future from other companies, writers, animating companies, and all that, and have them come over and inspire all these other stories to be written and all these games to be played.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, there are people that I know for sure I would never have met, and there are people that I know for sure I would not be as close to, and there are shows that I would never have watched or heard of without Akira.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just blessed that I was able to grow up, even though I had maybe like a cool, calm 9-10 years without knowing about Dragon Ball Z or anything related. I'm glad that I was able to spend the last 13 years geeking out about literally everything that dropped related to that show.
Right.
So
Yeah.
all I can say is thank you for everything and the amazing childhood and the last 13 years.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I have to say one more moment that really stuck out at me. This one actually was fairly recently, over the summer. I was playing Xenoverse 2 with my little brother. He was 6 years old. He's 7 now. He's still alive. But I got called Isaiah or something. I think we were in a party or something like that, and he played my little brother, and it was like the cutest thing ever, because like he let him win, of course. My little brother, surprisingly, like he was at a certain point, he like kind of just locked in, like he was stamina breaking and then vanishing and stuff. I was like, what the hell? Like he's 6 years old. Like I was so confused, but it was just a moment I was really just happy to see, and it just wouldn't be possible without Dragon Ball. I'm actually kind of tearing up over here because it's just, but I just want to wrap this up really by saying thank you, Akira Toriyama, for letting me have such a wonderful experience as a child, and even passing that on to my little brother, and can at least get somewhat of the experience I had growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Those moments, bro. Especially the moments where you would run the fuck home, trying to hurry up from camp or from school at 4, try to get back home at like before 5 o'clock, just so you could watch the hour-long episodes, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm tearing up and shit.
Lamont, did you want to add anything? Because we kind of just like hijacked that last little spot.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You said what I would have said, so it's okay.
All
I
right.
got my piece off.
Okay, before we close up here for this video, I just wanted to say that I had asked earlier on my Instagram account. Now, I told them they were going to be recording this video, and if there's anything they wanted to mention in the to honor the passing of Akira Toriyama, just let me know. And there was someone that told me that I could use the words that they put on their story, so I'm just going to read that real quick. He said, this comes from Sun Ochi on Instagram. He said, I would like to say Akira Toriyama was a legend. He influenced countless upon countless of manga and anime due to his creativity and passion for shonen. He's the reason why me and so many others had an amazing childhood. I would like to thank him for the countless memories. Dragon Ball as a whole has impacted my life since I was just a child up until now, and it will continue to have an impact. I am absolutely devastated and heartbroken by this news, but I'm happy he was able to leave such a legacy behind. And then he posted a moment, one of his favorite moments, and he said, when I was a kid, my uncle used to babysit me, and he used to play DBZ BT3, and I would watch him play it, and I was so infatuated with it, with how it looked and how the fighting was, and everything in general just captured my eye. I would watch DBZ Kai on Nicktoons and CW Kids, and from there I became a fan. So I just wanted to put that in the video. He asked to be here. It's just, you can really see, like, even through text, man, on how important this guy was in our lives, like how much he just impacted so much that it's just, you can't overlook it.
He impacts so many people, and everybody to some extent has their own Dragon Ball story. Whether it's watching somebody play Budokai Tenkaichi 3 or catching it on Nicktoons late at night, or just seeing somebody try and go Super Saiyan in your class for the first time and questioning what they're doing and finding out that way, it really impacts so many people. And it's been really heartwarming to hear everybody come out and express how much love they have for Dragon Ball and how much love it's given them to share with other people. So that was really nice to hear.
All right, so that wraps it up for this video. We're just gonna get out of here. Like, no need to do the special outros or whatever, just exaggerated stuff. We just really hope that he's resting well, man. And we're just thankful for what he's done. So we're gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.